Many times I've been asked, what are the qualifications for getting your own nighttime political show on MSNBC? This evening, finally, I have more than just theory and artsy-fartsy persiflage with which to answer that question. I have something of statistical substance to work with. Apparently, if you're an ex-sportscaster born on the 27th of January, you're in. Because there are now two of us. Our number one story in the countdown, as of right now, MSNBC is proud to announce we will be premiering a new news hour on this network next Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. It's called The Ed Show, and here is Ed. Ed Schultz, who is, of course, America's most listened to progressive radio voice.
Keith,
welcome
my pleasure.
Aboard.
It's great to be on your team. I've never been this excited. It's something I've wanted for a long, long time.
I'm just going to say, after only 30 years in broadcasting, you're an overnight success.
Isn't it great in America? You can achieve goals at this time. I'm just excited about it, and I appreciate the opportunity.
But really, another ex-sportscaster born on January 27th, what is it, something in the groundwater or the stars, or what is this?
I don't know. I got to check that out. I've got to check how the stars were that night or whatever. But it's interesting that we do have similar backgrounds and also, I think, a pretty good appetite for what's going on in America right now.
Yeah, you'd have to. Well, that addresses my first point here. So my bosses come to you and say, A, would you like an hour of television on national TV every night? And B, what would you do with it? Because you're sitting here, we know what the answer to A was. What's the answer to B? What is it going to look like?
What's on the kitchen table in America? What is really on the hearts and minds of the American people? And I would like to take the passion that I have on the radio show and bring it to the screen. I'm just honored to be a part of the MSNBC lineup. You have done a phenomenal job starting year number 7. Chris Matthews, Rachel is just on a tear, and I'm just honored to be a part of that lineup. But I want to talk about the American people. I think there's been an attack on labor in this country for the last 30 years.
You betcha.
And I think it's all unfolding right on the kitchen table. When you look at health care expenses, you look at energy costs, you look at what it costs to run a family today, and the structure of the family is under attack because of the economy, and we got to do something about it. So the cultural issues, got to drop in a little sports because of the January 27th thing, and commentary. It's Ed because, you know, I just don't have all the answers, but I'll still be Ed.
I've always thought that a show in this environment will only succeed if the host going in can see it in his mind. I mean, do you see your show? What does it look like?
I see my show being newsmakers, timely, topical, what's on the minds of the American people, what are people talking about at the workplace, at the water cooler, but also it's got to have passion, and this is who I am, this is what I believe in. I don't have all the answers, but you know, I'm an American and I love this country, and this is what I believe where we have to go with the middle class. There'll be a strong focus on the middle class on the Ed Show.
All right, you've got the conundrum all of us have as this thing gets more and more successful. The show's got to look like a relative of all the other shows that right before it, right afterwards, but not too much. I mean, Chris is the political inside baseball guy. Rachel is the affable, charming policy wonk. I'm the a-hole. What are you going to be?
I'm going to be the guy who represents people who take a shower after work.
Very good.
I'm going to be that guy who's going to be there for the working folk of America. I'm a staunch supporter of unions. I do believe that the American people can pull out of this. We have the heart, we have the desire. I just went through that in the last few weeks in Fargo, North Dakota, where I saw unselfish Americans. And I think, Keith, we've been living in the most selfish generation over the last 8 years. What I saw, you know, KFGO radio and the unselfishness of 80,000 volunteers diking 35 miles of river to save their town, that's the America I know, that's the America I want to help bring to MSNBC.
Have you seen the promo yet?
They showed it to me, and I said, that's some other guy. Is that really it?
Let's take a look at the promo, okay? Roll that, Brian.
Premiering Monday, America, you're better off Ed.
Did I hear that?
From op-ed
What do you mean you don't have the votes?
to Ed Strong,
It's payback time.
he hits the nail on the Ed.
Americans, isn't that what we want?
The Ed Show premieres Monday at 6 Eastern on MSNBC.
You have been initiated into the society of the bad promo pun.
Your people are good. They are good.
All right, so now you hit the subject of unions a couple of times, and this is to talk about something of substance. How come it's not obvious when we talk about you've got to pay those AIG bonuses to the people who crashed AIG because it's in the contract. It's in their contract. There's the sanctity of the contract. And you have liberals and you have conservatives embracing that, maybe some more reluctantly than others. But in the meantime, we're ready to go to Detroit and go, UAW, tear up all the contracts. It's not worth the paper it's printed on.
You know, Keith, the American people are tired of fine print. They want the truth and they want fairness. And in this whole playing out of the AIG situation and Mr. Wagner walking with $20 million.
23.
Yeah, was it 23?
It was 23.
Son of a gun, it gets better all the time, doesn't it?
He got a raise too.
That's right. Well, the American people see that and say, how does this work? That's not fair. And I think the Obama administration is about fairness. I think we saw that today in a story with Ted Stevens.
Right.
You know, we would have been saying maybe if Bush had let him go like that, oh, it's a conspiracy. But wait a minute. We have to believe in the legal system. We have to believe in the American system. But yet we have to ask the tough questions, and it's our job, I believe, to do that. I'm liberal, but I'm also pragmatic, and I'm also not going to turn my head to the facts. And I think the American people, when they see an AIG executive get $1 million for tanking the company, when they see GM going where it's going, and it's not on the backs of the workers, it's people in the front office that didn't do what they were supposed to do, a sense of fair play is lost in America, and we need to get our sensibilities back to that, and I think that we're seeing people adjust to that in that regard. So that's part of the show. That's the story that I think needs to be out there more in America.
Looking forward to it. Ed Schultz, the Ed Show begins Monday at 6 Eastern, and all the best luck.
And congratulations to you. It's been a heck of a run. Go to year 7 and beyond. I'm just glad to be on your team, Keith.
Glad to have you, sir.
You bet.
I should mention that my friend David Schuster, whose show is currently on at 6 p.m., will be moving to the afternoons from 3 to 5, and will, I'm delighted to say, continue as the guest host on this show when they, on occasion, let me out of here. In the interim, that's countdown for this, the 2,153rd day since the previous president declared mission accomplished in Iraq. I'm Keith Olbermann. Good night, and good luck.